friends, it's Kristine Vicente with Queen City Stamp Art, and I'm back this week with the final card in my Christmas in July card series for 2023. And today we're going to be using the Trucking Along stamp set from Stampin' Up. This is one of the Stampin' Up online exclusive products that's available now in the store. This stamp set, this particular one, does have a coordinating truck builder punch. The truck builder punch is currently not available. It will not be available until about the middle of October 2023. And because these products are online exclusives, there's no guarantee that they'll stay in stock or be replenished when they run out. So if I were you, if you don't have the Trucking Along stamp set and you really love it, you might want to get it now just to make sure you have it, because although they're back in stock, the stamp set, there's no guarantee they'll reorder the stamp set once it goes out. So just a little bit of advice to make sure you get this stamp set if you really, really want it. And then you can always add the coordinating punch later when it comes back in stock, because it is a handy tool to have with the stamp set. But for the card today, you're not even going to need it. So let's go ahead and make a card. Okay, so the card we're making today is this adorable little truck with the tree in the back, of course, for Christmas. But this stamp set actually has other images that can go in the back of the truck. So there's some little bins with all this confetti and celebration. There's some little presents. There's a little vignette of a palm tree with a surfboard and a beach ball for like a vacation type truck. So you can make this truck into all different schemes. One of my favorites though is the little sunflowers, and I'm going to show you this truck with the sunflowers at the very end. I created a card just to show you that this is really kind of one of those all-season stamp sets. It seems very Christmassy when you first look at it because of that tree and the red truck and everything. That's such a popular theme. But the truth is, this is an all-season stamp set with all-season kind of sentiments as well. So we're going to have some fun with this today though, making a Christmas card. So I'm going to set that aside. We're also going to be using a little bit of masking paper. So I'll show you my card here, maybe a little bit closer. This is lightly ink blended on the edges just to create like a little road for the truck. So we're going to use a little piece of masking paper to mask off part of that tag. And then I love using tag dies to create a little platform for my focal image. And so I thought this card would be a perfect card to do that with, because the image is fairly bold itself, and then this tag adds some little detail, and I just really liked it. I wanted to create something very clean and simple, and that's kind of the effect we achieved by using a tag as the platform. So I did use the second largest tailored tag. This is the tailor-made tag die set, and I used one of the reinforcers with the flat edge. And then we're also going to be using some of this beautiful one-horse open sleigh designer series paper. So this paper has beautiful watercolored images on one side, and then when you flip it over, the neutral side is all different kind of earth tone patterns that are really, really gorgeous. And so we're going to be using one of the wood tone patterns here. This would actually also be a beautiful pattern for this card. I may have taken the last piece of the light wood tone for my card, but anyway, we're going to use the wood tone to make this card, and then I'll show you a different piece of paper I used for the second card. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and start our little working. So the first thing we're going to do is get the tag prepared. So I'm just going to bring the tag in, and then we're going to need this little piece too to stamp our truck. So let's work on the tag. I'm going to need a little piece of scrap paper so I can do my masking. And what we'll do is we're going to take this tag and we're just going to take the mask. There's some little release paper. I just cut a little strip of masking paper. And I'm going to hit this onto my pants and then remove it just to take some of the stick off so it doesn't stick horribly onto my project. And then I'm going to just sort of try and make this as straight as possible onto my paper here. And then I'm bringing in my crumb cake ink pad and a blending brush. And I'm going to start off my project so that I get a nice light blend, and then move my brush onto my project piece here. And I'm just lightly coating the bottom of the tag with a little bit of this crumb cake ink to try to bring in a little bit of that color so it looks like there's a road that my truck is going to be sitting on. And that looks good to me. So now we can close this up because we won't need this ink pad again. And we'll peel this off. And then if I'm careful, I might be able to reuse this masking paper on another one. Yeah, there we go. Very good. And so now we have this really pretty like effect where you've got a light sandy colored road for our tag. Now I'm also going to use this as the area where I stamp the sentiment. So the sentiment we're using is the Christmas one that says, "Wishing you a festive Christmas." And I'm going to ink that up in Memento Black and just stamp it right here on my tag, just like that. And then I'm going to keep this out because I need it. And then we're going to add the little reinforcer just to add a little bit of a detail. Now when I'm adding these, I like to use my tweezers because it just makes it a little bit easier for me to get it onto my project in the right spot. And I'm going to use some of this wet adhesive, just a tiny bit on the bottom of the reinforcer just to stick it on here. And you don't have to do this for this card because there's not going to be any reinforcement needed per se, but I like it because it adds an extra little detail to the finished tag, and it kind of completes it. So there's our little tag, and it's all set and ready to go as soon as we get our truck stamped. So we'll set this aside for now, and we'll bring that back in shortly. All right, so let's bring in our little piece of white, and we're going to be stamping up our truck. So we want the outline image of the truck, and we're going to stamp that in the black. And then we're going to need our red ink to stamp the body of the truck, the color. And this is a neat stamp set because it lines up pretty well, but you could also color it if you prefer to color, or do some watercoloring with it, or try and line that up as good as I can. Yeah, that was pretty good. And then this does stain the stamps, but they still work even though they're stained. And then let's see, I need the black again so I can do the tires. So that's a completely different stamp image. Yeah, pretty good. And then we're going to do the tree next. So the tree is a completely separate image. Now, if you had the truck builder punch, you could now, at this point, punch the truck out, and then you could stamp the tree on a separate piece of paper and fussy cut that out and add it to the back of the truck. But because we aren't going to be using the punch today, I want to just show you how you can do that all together. So we're going to take the, let's see, first of all, we're going to take the Farm Fresh. So there's a little word that says Farm Fresh, and I want to put that on the door of the truck. So I'm going to ink that up and just stamp that right on the side of the truck. And when the red dries back, it will dry a little bit lighter. Then I'm going to pull in my green, my garden green, and I'm going to take the, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm going to take the fill in for my tree and stamp that first. So I'm going to ink up the fill, and I'm going to lay this along the bit of the back of the truck. And just add that to the truck. And now I'm going to take the outline of the of the tree, and add the outline detail. Sometimes it's easier to add the outline after you stamp the fill because you know where to put it. It's harder to see if you don't have that. So anyway, there's my little truck. Now, it's completely done and ready to be trimmed out. And so what I'm going to do is use my scissors to fussy cut this. So you don't really need the punch because you wouldn't be able to punch it out with the tree in the back of the truck anyway. You'd have to do that in two separate pieces. So this almost kind of combines that effort. So I'm going to speed up the camera here and finish cutting out my tree. There we go. And that's that. There's the little truck. So that was pretty easy and quick to cut out. And so now we're going to add this to our tag with a little bit of dimensional adhesive to pop it up. And I'm just going to position this right in the center of the tag so that the words are underneath the tires there. And the top of it kind of comes off the top a little bit. I like that. I like how that looks. Now, before I add my tag to the card, I just want to thread some linen thread in there. So I'm going to cut a little section of that. And I'll just feed it through here. And I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of the tag. And now we'll be ready to add this to our card base. So I'll take these off and set this right here, and I'll bring in my base card. And so this is just a basic white thick base card. It was cut at 4 1/4 inches, so it measures 4 1/4 by 11. And excuse me, I scored it at 5 1/2 to make a landscape orientation, but it's also a it's a left side fold, so it just kind of gives you a little extra surprise. And then we're going to take a piece of that designer series paper from the One Horse Open Sleigh set and add this as a layer. Excuse me. There we go. And then we'll add this to the card front. Centering it right in the middle there. And now that it's glued down, it's much easier to tie the little bow on there. There we go. Very cute and festive. And then to finish this one off, I think I'm going to add some of the festive pearls to the sentiment area. I don't feel like this needs a lot of gems, but I think these little red pearls are so cute and just bring a little bit more red into the whole design. Another idea would be to cut this little designer series paper layer a 1/4 inch smaller and add a red panel underneath to give it kind of a matte, an extra matte. That would be very pretty and a nice way to bring in a little bit more red. This gives it a slightly more clean and simple look because there's a lot less contrast with that missing red border. But both designs would really be beautiful. So this is the Christmas version. And now I also have one that I did in blue. And I used the sunflower images in the back. And the sentiment says, "Sending you sunny thoughts." And I just think this is so cute. I used one of the blue pieces of paper from that same One Horse Open Sleigh paper pack and just used Misty Moonlight to color in the truck. And I have 2 adorable little cards using the exact same supplies. I just used a different color and a different image for the back of the truck. And you get a completely different card that you could use any time of the year. So I hope you enjoyed the series this month of Christmas cards. I'm sure I'll think of something else to share with you, for next week. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed the series and I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much.